Hello everybody, what is up? It is your boy Trix, and today we're going to be doing some more PngMe. Sorry for the stream layout. For some reason my overlays aren't rendering correctly. I think it might be stream elements, maybe it's down right now. No idea why. But anyway, we're going to be looking at blank screen with just content and my face in the top corner right now. Yeah, not the best, but we'll keep moving. I'm planning to stream for like an hour or so today. I'm just gonna comment out the code that I got the other day. So this I'm gonna comment out, this I'm gonna comment out, and this I'm gonna comment out, just so that I can get everything like semi-working. So if I do this and then cargo test, just needed to build. Only one test should fail now. Yeah, cool. And it's just chunk, invalid chunk is valid. There we go. There we go. Just gotta comment out that test for now because I still have no idea how to get it working. So we're just going to ignore that section while we continue everything else, and then hopefully I'll come back around to it. Maybe I'll get someone else to like give me a CR and just tell me what I'm doing wrong in that section, just because I'm very confused why when I unwrap it's not able to unwrap it correctly. Very weird. Anyway, right now we have finished chapter 1 and we are on chapter 2, which is chunks. So let me just add that. Cool. Now we've got our chunk type structure. We can implement the rest of our chunks. We'll be using the PNG file structure spec again. Section 3.2 has all the information you need. That was part of this assignment. We'll be creating a chunk from a sequence of bytes using the try from trait. Implementing the add bytes method may also be tricky, depending on how much experience you have working with iterators. Check the hints of this chapter if you get stuck. Okay, so copy the unit tests shown below, paste them into the bottom of your chunk RS. Okay, so let me grab this, Control C. There we go. Now, what it wants is write a chunk structure with the implementation of PNG chunks. So let's have a look at 3.2. Is a length, chunk type, chunk data, and CLC. Alright, so length is a 4-byte unsigned integer given the number of bytes in. Okay, so length. So in here, let me just have a look. So pub struct of chunk, right? This will have a length, which is just a U8,4, right? Then we've got a chunk type, which is a chunk type, right? Then we've got a chunk data bytes appropriate to the chunk type, if any. This field can be of 0 length. Chunk data, I am not sure what that would be. I'm assuming it'll just be an array of U8, but size is for us array of unfixed size. Dynamic array. Okay, that I'm going to leave for now because I know it's going to be a U8, right? And then the last bit is just a CRC of 4 bytes. So it's just a U8 of 4 again, right? And that's pretty much it for that. There we are. Then try from, display, and these methods, right? So yeah, go to hints. I just want to see what it has in here. There we are. I just wanted the stubs because stubs are always a bit weird and funky. So in here, I'm just going to comment out the rest of these tests just because I know they're probably not going to be useful for me until I actually start playing with everything. So the first one is just going to be data length, which is just 42. Ooh, interesting actually. Chunk type, then message bytes, then a CRC, right? Chunk data is a vec of U8 with chunk type, message bytes, and a CRC. Then it unwraps that inside of a chunk, right? So all I need is the method stubs to figure out what to do. So up here we've got use standard convert try from, there we are, use standard format, use standard IO for buff, reader, and read, then use crate of error and result, use crate PNG chunk type, right? Cool. So now that we've done that, we have hashtag derive debug clone, right? There we are. Then we have an import of chunk. Cool. Then we've got a try from and a display. Let me just copy this. Cool. There we are. So now that we've done that, we just now need to make a chunk, right? So that takes bytes of a U8, right? I think what I can do is I could do something similar, right? So up here, I know I'm going to have a length of U8, comma 4. Then I'm going to have a chunk type of chunk type. Then I'm gonna have a chunk data of U8. Then I'm gonna have a CRC of u8 metal. There we go. So now that I've done that, my try from should just do. So let me just have a look. A 4-byte unsigned integer given the number of bytes in the chunk's data field. The length counts only the data field, not itself the chunk type code or the CRC. 0 is a valid length. Okay. So if it passes in a whole chunk data, right? And then I know that's a vector and that's a U8. I get just a U8, right? That's 4 bytes, whatever bytes, and then 4 bytes, right? So, number of bytes in chunk's data field. The length counts only the data field, not itself, right? So essentially, I know that if I go into, let me just grab chunk type. So in here, I know that length, let length equal to bytes from 0 to 4, right? Then I know let chunk type equals how do you do chunk type in here? It would be the implementation down here, right? So chunk type try from chunk type colon try from, right, with bytes between 4 and 8, right? Then I know let is it 4 and 8? 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, 4 and 8, right? Then I know that length needs to be converted to int, right? It's a 4-byte unsigned integer, so I could just say that it's a U32. That is just a U32, right? Then I could just do bytes from 8 to 8 plus 32, right? Then the CRC is just from that end index. So let data index data n equals 8 plus length, right? Because we just want to know what the length is. So in here, I could just do let length colon u32 equals that. That is fine. Then I could just do let chunk data equals bytes from 8 to data end. Then let CRC equal bytes from data end to, and I just need to get the length of the array, rust length of array. I think it's pretty much just bytes.len. Yeah. There we go. Let me just... Then it's literally just, if I go into chunk type, it just returns a result return okay of chunk with a length of length, a chunk type of chunk type, a chunk data of chunk data, and a CRC of CRC. Create chunk type. Okay, then Rust dynamically sized array. Do I really have to use a vec? Hang on. Ah, I am from the UK. I'm not sure why it's in 24-hour mode. I did not know that. Sorry about that. I'm currently looking at the. Actually, I can show you. I'm currently looking at chunks, and what I'm trying to figure out is making this chunk data a dynamically sized array, because when you have a PNG image, the actual data for that image, you don't know how big the array will be, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that nicely in Rust. And from what I can see, maybe I can change this to like a 0 with a length. I don't know if that would work. Here we are. What's this complaining about? Expected type in this macro. This macro doesn't call extend. Okay. First expected type in this macro invocation. Do you have experience with Rust, or do you have experience with other languages? Oh, nice. I haven't coded in Python or Dart in a long time. It's just been Rust and Java recently. I'm thinking of doing a stream where in Java I've got a audio reader. I can bring that up really quickly. It basically does something similar to the byte manipulation in here, where it's doing bit shifting. Yeah, it's a lot easier when you're not managing garbage collection yourself. um, I've got this, which basically just analyzes the bytes inside of a MP3 file. And I was thinking of maybe using Netty as like a server that you can upload images, not upload images, sorry, upload MP3 files, and it will, what's it called? It will go through the file and extract this information for you. Ah, no, sorry. uh, how would I do this? Nice. Oh, so what do you use at work then? Do you just use Python or another language at work, or is it just normal? Nice. I remember doing Django like a while ago. Yeah. I'm assuming you're probably like using Django like fast or something. Uh, nice. Uh, how would I solve this? So it would be a dynamically sized array list. This control size and array using type parameter. Back into your size an option then. I try to stream between 5 p.m. in UK time, so I think that's GMT, 5 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. It's like 6:30 right now because yeah, every Saturday, every Sunday. The only problem is, yeah, the only problem is with my laptop, I'm running Linux, which is I'm running on OpenSUSE Tumbleweed, and sometimes because I'm running on a gaming laptop, the display driver just doesn't output correctly. So I don't know, like maybe 20 minutes just fixing the output to my dual monitors. Sometimes it just doesn't output and I have to use the normal laptop screen. Do I announce it? I don't really announce it anywhere. I literally just start streaming whenever. I can start announcing it on like my YouTube or my Mastodon if you're following that. Ah, I'll post on YouTube if I'll do like a post of, oh, I'm gonna start streaming on YouTube then, because I know YouTube has the posts thing. Nice. I remember. I think you were watching one of my what's it? It was one of my Rust videos where I was doing like Flutter or something. I can't remember, but that was a while ago. Nice. How would I solve this? I saw it, and from what I saw with how Rust is implemented with Flutter, it looks interesting. I haven't seen PO3, but when I was doing Rust with Flutter, the only problem I found was the interop kind of needed Kotlin there. I can't remember if it did need Kotlin, but I remember using Kotlin in some places. Yeah, it's just I don't know what the right word for it is. I feel like if you're using Rust and Flutter, I think it's good for some things. If you want to do something like computation heavy, where you need the speed, but to get there, I feel like the way that is executing code is still slow, so that any performance benefit you could get isn't really there. It's cool you can do it, and if they can get it faster, that'll be a lot better. But I feel like it's still slow just because it has to convert all of the calls anyway between Rust and Flutter. I think with Rust 3.0 it might be solved though. I think there's like they're using a new JVM or something that can make it faster. It was what was it? Oh, sorry, mate. I think they're using like a new Rust, not new Rust, new JVM for Flutter to get faster speeds. I know there's going to be like a Flutter 3.0 or something that's going to be released soon to fix it. No worries. A vec of 0 with length. That's all I do. But then why is this failing? Ooh, is it because I'm doing chunk? Hang on, what was the compiler error I got? No worries. I know what I could do. I could just check rustlings with, where is it? Vectors? Vex, there we go. How did I do it here? That's a lot better actually. I could just do vec with angle brackets and then the type. So I could do a cd into PngMe. Whoops. Chunk. Insert. I was using the macro, that's why it wasn't working correctly. What was this? PNG spec. So chunk data is just any byte. So I could just do it as just U8 because a byte is going to be a U8 of whatever. I think that should be okay. I think if I do cargo test, I just want to see what this fails at now. Yep, that went away. Clone is not implemented for chunk type. Ooh. Oh, I'm just gonna have to implement it, that's fine. So in here, I can just do clone. Yeah, sure. As long as it's not like very personal, that's right. It's alright, I'm coding anyway, so I can look at that and code at the same time. I mean, look at chat and code at the same time. Sorry. The byte array to int. Ooh, I saw that it's like third or fourth in the charts for Stack Overflow survey. For people that watch this back, I'm talking about Zig, by the way, if you're not looking at chat. I think it's pretty good. I haven't actually touched it yet. I haven't touched the language yet, but I would say I'm planning to do it. I'm planning to touch it. After I finish building PngMe in Rust, I'm planning to do Elixir. Then I think it's Zig or Huck. I've forgotten what the language's name's called, but I am planning to touch it eventually. All of the hyped languages I'm planning to touch eventually. I'm currently using Java at work, so touching something very low level alongside this is very interesting. Now I can just do because that's a U8 of 4 and I'm saying that I want it as a U32. It's saying that on for Zig I couldn't say because I haven't touched it. For Java, what's a nice way? What's a nice way to explain this? I'm just trying to think. For handling something on different threads and memory management, I think Rust is a lot nicer just because it forces you to think about it beforehand. Like it forces you to think about the reference count of all objects that you're passing around, right? Whereas in Java, you don't really need to think about it. You can if you want to, which takes a lot of the load off of the JVM. It does take a lot of load off of the JVM, which is very helpful because you don't want to let it do everything. But I think in terms of usability, I feel like Java is still a lot better just because it's a nice in between having to manage all of the memory yourself and being given the choice to just let everything be handled for you. Rust makes you handle a lot of stuff yourself, which is basically what C++ does anyway. And Rust is supposed to be a replacement for C++. I just think in terms of the languages I've used so far, I put Rust, yeah. I'd put Rust at like second, maybe Java first, Rust second, Flutter and Dart third, Python fourth. These are just languages that I can like say I've used and I'm like competent in. If it's like all of the languages I've touched, don't know where I'd place anything. I still think I'd put like a JVM language near the top. Convert byte array to int Rust. Yeah. My opinion is, I don't know. I don't really like dynamically typed languages, but I do like languages that give you a little bit of help in the beginning. If you want to do anything performant, then I understand. But if not, then I don't think you really need to worry about it. Hang on, I'm just trying to figure out value.2 bytes. Oh, come on. What does it have? You can turn a string into a vec of U8 using str as bytes, getting a string from bytes. Okay. VLang? Never heard of it. Sorry. Ah, makes sense why I've never heard of it. Oh, that's a lot easier, isn't it? Okay. So, I can do in here, let my reader equal buff reader new bytes. Oh, don't worry about it. My laptop's plugged in. It's literally that. It's literally that I have. Apparently, this battery is supposed. This battery is supposed to have like 2 slots or something, so it registers 2 inputs. Or it might just be the theme I'm using in Awesome that's being weird. Okay, then I've got reader.read exact and mut buffer. Okay, then there we are. So let data length equal new 32 colon the bytes buffer. There we go. Now I'm pretty sure I can redo that for chunk. I can't do that for chunk type. I could do. Let me see actually. Doesn't have a size, no, not compile time. So I can do. Whoops. I don't need to convert that to a U32. I can just do reader.read whoops. Reader.read exact and mut buffer. There we go. Then in here, I can just pass in this as buffer. There we go. Oh. Now that I have the length, I can just do... What's it called? I can just do of length, right? The buffer's length with 0 to that length. Then I can just read that into chunk data, right? So I can do... That's fine for that. Reader dot read exact and not. Then all this does is your string dot bytes collect. So that's for you can turn an AND string into a vec. You would get bytes from a string. How would I do this? Because technically I don't even need to do that, right? Like I don't technically need this line. I do know the length. I've got the length. Now I can just make a U8 of that. So let mut chunk data buffer colon U8 of length. Right. Then in here I do chunk data buffer. There we are. Then this just because chunk data. There we go. Didn't even need that. Okay. Then this just becomes reader.read exact and not buffer, right? And then in here, let CRC this is just a buffer now, because I'm just reusing the same buffer each time. There we go. Oh, I just need to do an unwrap on that. Where's that from? Non-constant value. Oh. Sorry, what was that? I'm trying to understand what's going on. Sorry. Right now, what I'm trying to do is, I've read in the first, where is it? In chunks. If I go into here, I should have opened that in a new page. Absolutely wonderful. Let me just check something. There we go. So right now, this length is just a 4 byte unsigned integer, which I'm just reading into this length. Really, I could just change this to be a U32, because that would just make more sense, because it's just a 4 byte unsigned integer. I'm just storing it as a U8 because I think it'll be a little bit easier. That's all. So in here, reading in that length as a U32, then converting it to a U32. Then, now that I've done that, then I use that same reader to read into that buffer again, because that buffer's now been occupied in length. And then all I'm doing is just trying to get a chunk type from that, right? So after I get that chunk type will then go into this chunk type. Then in here, all I'm saying is I want to create a dynamically sized array, because in Rust you can't have a dynamically sized array. I'm just going to store it as a vector, and I want that vector to first be filled with zeros to that length. Right now it's saying that the length is a U32. Yeah, it's a U32 instead of a U size, so I can just try into an unwrap. So in here I can call on this line dot try into, then dot unwrap. So that sorts out this chunk data, because I don't know that I know how long it will be based on the length here, because this length is just the length of this chunk data, which is very nice of the PNG spec to give you. The MP3 spec isn't as forgiving. It just says, okay, here's all of your data, then just a ton of bytes, and you just need to know that it's this length long based on the sample rate, bit rate, and everything else. It makes you do the calculation yourself. It doesn't store that data. So PNG, a lot nicer. Then all I'm doing is I define that length, right? Then I'm going to read it into that buffer so that the next chunk of data passed through gets read into chunk data. Then I'll read into the original 4-byte buffer so that I can get the last CRC, which will just be the CRC variable. So if I do this, then that's just each one split up. So I got the reader, which will just be the byte reader, then buffering into length, buffering into chunk type, buffering into chunk data, buffering into the CRC, then just converting it. So if I run cargo test now, it should tell me length is a U8, but it found the U32, and then chunk type is supposed to be a chunk type, but I got result chunk type instead. So right now, all I need to do is inside here, for chunk type I can solve pretty easily. I just need to find where it is again. There we go. I just need to call unwrap. And then by calling unwrap on chunk type, that should give us just a normal chunk type. Nice. So now for length, we know that we're storing it as a U8, right? But we found it as a U32. The easiest way to solve this is just store it as a U32, right? Because it's saying that it's just a 4-byte unsigned integer. If I wanted to, I could just store that as a U32. Does it care if it's a U32 or not? That's the question. It treats it like a U32 anyway, because it just has chunk length is 42. That's fine then. So what we can do is, in here, I can just convert this to a U32. So if I give that a cargo test, that should pass. Oh, nice, Anya from Spy Family. Nice. It's been a long time since I've seen Spy Family, to be honest. I'm currently watching what's it called? Jigokuraku and Oshinoko. Oshinoko is very dark. It's really good. Yeah. Let's see, what's the next test? Does it have a dub? I think Oshinoko has a dub right now. Yeah. Jugoku Raku, I don't think so. It might be on Crunchyroll if you're watching it there. Fair. Not a lot of people are. I'm also wondering why this valid check doesn't return correctly. So if it unwraps, so this is valid check is fine, then this is error isn't. Why is the is error not turning fine? Also, forgot to say this because you've been in the stream for a while. Sorry about my overlays. That is just like completely blank. I think Stream Elements is a little bit broken right now, so it's gonna be like this for a little while. Sorry. Let's have a look. You know what? I'll sort out that test later. For now, I'll try to figure out this test. So from string, this is where your secret message will be. That's fine. As bytes to vec length, dot length, and then dot crc. So right now, it just wants me to do chunk new, which is just a chunk type and a data. Interesting. So if it wants me to do new, it just needs in here. I just need to do an implementation of chunk, which has got fn new chunk type. Whoops. Chunk type data vec u8. Whoops. To a chunk. And then all it needs to do is, in here, it needs to get length and CRC. Okay. Well, length is easy. I can just get the length of the data vector, right? So it'll just be let length equal. Now I just need to get vec length first. I know it's literally just the length. Yeah. That's fine. It's literally just data.len. I don't even need to store that as a variable, but that's fine. Now CRC is a bit more interesting. CRC is calculating the preceding bytes in this chunk, including the chunk type code and chunk data fields, but not including the length field. So it's using chunk type and chunk data. See the CRC algorithm. Standard CRC methods with pre and post conditions as defined by that. The CRC polynomial employed is that 32-bit CRC register is initialized to all ones, and then data from each byte is processed from the least significant bit to the most significant bit. So all data bytes are processed, CRC register is inverted. This one complement is taken to the family, is transmitted and stored in the file in the most significant bit. For the purpose of breaking into bytes and ordering the least significant bit of 32-bit CRC is defined to be the coefficient of x power 31 term. One, 2, 5, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 16, 22, 23, 26, and 32. Interesting. So CRC. I know I'm gonna have let CRC equal. That's that for now, and then it'll just be. Did I even have a new and try in here? I didn't think I had a new in here. No. I'm pretty sure it'll just be return self colon. In here, did I do it in did I do it in FromStra? Yeah. Oh, I don't even need to do that. I could just do chunk with length, chunk type, chunk data is data, and then CLC is CLC. All I need to figure out is calculating the CLC. So the CLC is calculated on just the chunk type and the data. That is 4 bytes and however many bytes this data is, right? So length is 42. Interesting. I wonder how to calculate this then. I know this polynomial exists, but is that just the bytes in the chunk type and the data? So for that I mean, so 1 plus x and then x to the power 2, x to the power 4. So I'm assuming that's just 1 plus, and then actually I'm not even sure. For now, let me just, I know this is gonna pass, but for sanity, cargo test. Okay, what's wrong with this? Ah, damn, forgot that. Sorry. Dot try into dot try into thanks. Dot try into dot unwrap. There we go. Then on CLC, what did it complain for CLC? Found integer. Ooh, okay. Now I could just do there we go. Then we've got fn length Interesting. So that CLC, it wants us a U32 then. Okay, so inside here. Zero, then in here, it just wants a U32. That will fail because my new isn't a real new method. So I need to figure out how to calculate that CLC. How would I calculate that CLC? I always use Vim. Vim is very easy. CLC calculation. I say that. Vim isn't easy for everyone, but I miss the keybinds. CLC calculation. Oh, it's charging. I don't know why it keeps complaining. CLC. Let's have a look. All in hex and binary. PngCLC calculation. I just want to know what it does. How is PngCLC calculated exactly? So it grabs the CLC table, which is a UN array, makes a UN of 256. For each value, iterate through, and then grab the... What is C from? Where is it populating C? Oh, it populates C on this line, okay. That's just a chunk. You know what? I'm gonna call it here today, and then next Saturday I'll pick this up again. I'll do some more research on CLC, and I'll try to figure out how to do this calculation. I can understand that this is just a hex code where it's I believe that's XOR. It's XORing on the value shifted by 1, and then bitwise AND operation on this value, but I don't understand why. So I'll do some more research and then I'll come back and try to suss this out on Saturday. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, enjoy the rest of your day, and peace.
who a hoe. Show you things that you ain't